to make money with music is not the same as making music for yourself. It's about the experience. That's the unique part that AI will never be able to take solely for itself, is our experience as humans making art. For somebody coming into college, for somebody leaving college, go to therapy. And I'm not going to know that I wrote a song that's pure until everybody loves it. Until I upload the song and it's popular. I don't think that's really how it works. Like you can get to something within yourself that's fundamentally human, and then everybody else will connect with it on a fundamentally human level. Totally. But like there's this distorted view of making a living off music that causes people to
1, 2, 3, 4.
I was late.
Well, that's okay. It's okay. Well, everybody, this is Danny Nagy with Caffeinated Creatives, and today we have the one and only Joel Gardella, right?
Joel Gardella, but I love your Hungarian accent.
Thank you so much. I got the approval of Joel.
Yes, perfect.
With Caffeinated Creatives, we're talking about entrepreneurship, creativity, all the good, bad, the beautiful, and the ugly. And I'm excited to have Joel on today's episode. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well. Just had a beautiful day outside. You know, it's nice and fall.
Yeah.
And now I'm here.
Awesome.
Checking out the space.
Gotta get my coffee. I forgot to bring it because this is Caffeinated Creatives.
Gotta stay caffeinated.
Well,
we got our triple shot espresso through the espresso machines. Cheers, my friend.
That tastes good. You know, I used to just drink it with milk, but now I'm kind of saying, okay, you know what? That ain't that bad.
Gotta get that turbinado sugar in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one cool thing that happened recently is Joel and I reconnected after, God knows, 10 years or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
No, less than 10 years, because I finished Berklee. We both went to Berklee, and I graduated. Did we graduate the same year, 2017? Okay, it's a year apart.
So we probably met 10 years ago, though. 2025, 2015, end of 2015, maybe 2016.
I think we met end of 2024. I have recordings.
2014?
I have recordings where you're playing the saxophone. So Joel is an incredible saxophone player. You're a very good saxophone player. I don't remember the full origin story, but somebody recommended you. And you came in and you're like, whoa, what is this music?
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is sick. It's like multimeter funk music, you know? And one thing I was thinking about or remembering was at that time, I was in like 5 bands.
Woo!
And I wanted to stay in your band because like I was needing to quit some, and you were the only one who actually had it together as far as like organization. Like your charts read perfectly. You always had extras. When you encouraged us to get subs if we were going to be absent for a rehearsal, and like if we were going to play a show, we didn't have to do any wondering because you always had your shit together. And I remember that.
I'm very pragmatic with, especially not just my music, but I had a very clear vision of how I wanted those. And I know they weren't like the easiest. That's why it was difficult to find people who would stick to it, would practice and show up. And I was very grateful that you were part of it. You were part of a big side, or a big part of my musical growth, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
Yeah, I was going down to memory lane. I was looking through all my old music on that Goliath over there, and I was like, geez, you played on a lot of songs.
Yeah,
a lot of shows.
You sending pictures of me without my beard, with like short hair and
short
stuff.
hair,
like,
yeah.
Wow, that was a whole different version.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I would be able to recognize you if we went on if we didn't know we lived in the same city. I was like, Joel.
Yeah,
Joel.
Yep. You're like, whoa, who is this guy?
I don't know if you remember, but there was one song you played alto saxophone on. You brought your alto on. Remember Eye Doctor?
Yeah. That's right. I was like sick. I can play lead alto right now. Yeah, that was fun.
Oh man, oh those years, I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to find one of the song sessions,
Uh-huh.
and for some reason I could not find it. I was going insane.
Mm.
And I found this stem separator called
Yeah.
Restem. Have you seen it?
No.
Restem, sponsor us. It's
Yeah.
freaking crazy. You put it on the two mix of the drums
Uh-huh.
and it separates them. You can mix it there or you can bring them in and it's like nearly perfectly stemmed.
Wow.
I was surprised.
Hmm.
The cymbal, I have to show it to you.
I'd love to
The
hear that because
kick.
a lot of times transients get lost, especially with drums. So that's probably really cool. And
Yeah.
actually, that just reminded me of something I was just showing you, Baton.
Yeah.
Um,
What is Baton?
Baton is the creation of my good friend Gabe Warshaw. Shout out. He created a platform for sharing unfinished music with other people who are looking to collaborate.
Hmm.
And it functions like a social network for creatives. And there's a whole bunch of hidden features. Just recently, he added automatic stemming.
No
So
kidding.
whatever you upload, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little stems thing. It's like the rebalance from Isotope.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, you can change the vocals, the drums, the bass, etc. And it's perfect. It sounds super good.
It's crazy.
And
where
there's other things
technology.
like you can there's a really powerful algorithm in there that matches uh beats together with, BPM, vibe, key, and everything. And I made some really wild mashups on the app because you can like
Really?
crossfade in between them. You got like some filter effects like a DJ, and it's
Hmm.
just like instant. It's just like that. It's really fun. But I usually just use the app for my work as a mastering engineer, because clients need gapless playback, and I've people send me stuff on Samply and stuff, but I was shown Baton before all of that, so I just send them a nice looking player. I upload some album art so my client sees it and is like, "Oh my gosh, it's like my album's on streaming already," and it's private.
Mm.
And yeah, I just have a library also of all my clients' stuff. It's like a backup in a way because you
Awesome.
can upload full quality files.
Lossless.
Yeah, it won't stream lossless, but it's high quality streaming, and then when you download it, it's lossless.
Gotcha,
So it's kind of
gotcha.
the whole delivery package
I gotta
if you need
check
it.
out that website.
hmm
Do you get paired with people, or how does it work?
Um, it's what you make it. There's a feed of people that you follow. There's also like a suggested feed that populates. And as for pairing tracks together, it's algorithmic. So like that's one way you can explore. You can open up one of your tracks and then say, I can't remember what it is. It's like the remix or something. Um, and then you can just like scroll through what the algorithm suggests. And if you like one of the beats, you can go to their profile, follow them, see who they follow, see who they collaborate with. Um, and people, uh, producers have submissions, public submissions for when they're looking for like a certain type of instrumental or a certain type of vocalist. Um, yeah, so you can find through public submissions, like on the main Baton feed, you can find people who might want to hire you.
That sounds
It's
awesome. I gotta
pretty
check it
cool.
out.
Yeah.
Baton, what's the website again?
Baton.media.
Baton Media. Go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Baton Media. Sponsor us.
My boy Gabe Warshaw. Let's go. He was actually just in town. There's a beat making camp here in Nashville that's uh it's run by this guy named Jack Vinoy. He has been doing it twice a year. I think next year might only be one time, but it's called Camp 3. Spelled CA dot MP3.
Oh, that's cool.
Clever, right? But Gabe has been helping host it because there's like beat battles where you can win like a pair of Atom speakers, like the Sonox plugin suite. There's like, top 5 or 4 or something wins prizes. And we at the end of the camp, everything's uploaded to Baton, and that's what they use for playback, and it's pretty fun. But yeah, it's I actually just saw it. You got a photo from Top Track Studios,
Oh yeah, I
which
shot
is
there.
where it's been hosted for the
No
past few
kidding.
times. Yeah.
Alison Brazil, she recorded her record at Top Tracks, and
Well, the guy there is from Brazil, I heard.
yeah,
Yeah, the
he
guy who
is.
ons that.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah,
Gibran.
he's got great taste in gear, that's for sure.
Yeah, he does.
Like
Gibran.
yeah, I went in the tracking room and I was just like, I want all of this. Like I was looking at the
He
rack, I
sells
was
a lot
like,
of them online.
oh yeah,
Or
well,
he puts stuff on the marketplace. He's
yeah.
cool. We shot, I think, early last year. My old business partner and I shot some kind of a promotion for another company at his studio. And then it was late 2023, and early last year we shot a couple of music performance videos there for this documentary that Ellison and I did called Songs for Today.
Yeah.
It was about songwriting, using songwriting as a way to heal and promote change against school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very deep subject, and unfortunately a very big problem as we speak in the States. Those very deep subject matter. But,
yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Just mentioning like songs of change and children reminds me of a good story from Berklee. When I was in one of the best classes I ever took, which was called Modern Political Thought.
Really? You took it
Weird.
at Berklee?
At Berklee. It was one of my liberal arts credits. I was just going down the list. I was like, wow, I don't know anything about anything to do with government or politics. Let's go. And it was led by this guy. I can't remember his name, but he was an older journalist who was retired. He just had been all around the world, documenting wars, documenting, just political events. And he had us read this book by a man named Mumia Abu Jamal, who was falsely imprisoned for the murder of someone. It was like a really messed up situation he happened upon with a shooting, and then the cops were like, you shot him. And he was locked up for life.
Holy cow.
There's a lot online about him that's super interesting. He's a writer. He writes from prison. There's a whole community around him. So he's super smart, super well read. And so we read parts of his book in class, and at the end, we got to call him.
What?
So the whole class, we were sitting around a conference phone, and we called the prison. And even, when they answered, they're like, okay, we'll connect you to him. And then we are interrupted every 2 minutes, like, this is blah, 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 state prison. Like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the real thing. So I was sitting there, I was like, oh my God, I need to think of a question. This is crazy. So I asked him, I was like, so we're all musicians in this room, and a lot of us want to make change. How do you think we can use music for change? And his answer was like, I remember in one summer when James Brown released I'm Black and I'm Proud. And it was at a time where Black people really needed to hear that. And, you drive down the streets, people are blasting that, and everybody's like, yeah. And what he pointed out in that song, one of the most powerful points that everybody connected with was the children singing in that song. Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. And he was like, the voices of children lead change. I was like,
interesting.
So, making songs about change, and especially for school shootings, it's a little bit on the nose compared to that song, but having children yell a fun hook, that's something.
Wow.
But yeah, it was an amazing
James
moment.
Brown was a big leader. A lot of those artists had a big following, and they can really make an impact on people through their music, through their art. And art can be an eye-opening event, or you know. But wow, that is an interesting story. I gotta look him up and check him
Hmm.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. From what I remember of the book, it was really cool. It was really good. Opening my
I
eyes.
wanna know because we had a great phone conversation. I want to talk about you.
Hmm.
what? How did you get into music? What is music in your family?
Only lightly. Like my dad did band in high school,
Band.
and my mom knows some songs on piano, just reading like hymn music, sort of, or like nursery rhymes and stuff. But um, it was mostly just me.
What is your early recollecting memory, if that makes sense, of playing music or thinking,
Yeah.
I wanna play music and
It.
saxophone. How did that come?
Oh, those are two different questions.
Okay, I
Because for
know.
me, my earliest memory with music or sound was I had a play school boombox and I was throwing pans at the wall, recording that.
Really?
Yeah.
Recording, throwing pans.
Yeah, it was just boom, boom,
Wow.
boom, 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 and I would play it back and be like, "Whoa, sick." Then do it again.
What about it did you like? Did you like the way it felt when you listened to it back?
I have no idea. This was like pre-memory. This was like 4 years
Wow.
old,
4 years old.
and I just remember that little bit. But then we had a piano in the
Hmm.
house, and my dad really loved the Zelda games.
Really?
So when you got Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask for the N64, those are very music-based games. You
Hmm.
play songs on the ocarina to activate certain abilities and powers. And um, so like there's the Song of Time. And
Hmm.
I remember that was the first thing I ever learned. As I was just plinking it out on the piano, probably completely wrong, but um, transcribing is how I was introduced to music, really. It's
Hmm.
like bing boom boom bing boom 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 bing boom 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 boom
That sounds
boom.
cool.
Yeah, and there's other hooks in that song that I was trying to learn and stuff. Um, and then my parents liked music. Like they played a lot of Michael Jackson in the house. They
Nice.
and so that was like core for me and
Or
core.
oh, core, yeah.
Core.
I
Yeah.
love Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just and I somewhat recently watched a part of Hercules, the Disney movie,
Hmm.
and I did not realize that entire soundtrack is like dope gospel music.
Really?
And
I
I was
gotta
like,
check it
no
again.
wonder I got into jazz so early and like had the ear to like it because I played that movie over and over and over. That was like my child fixation movie was Hercules. And that whole
Interesting.
soundtrack is just like ripping. It's awesome.
I think what you are exposed to in the early ages can really influence what sort of music you might get into.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know,
It's when the language center is developing.
I was just talking to my old teacher who taught me music in my high school in Hungary. We were talking about like even his experience and music in Hungary and Europe is big part in the education,
Mm.
like piano, choir, and I remember I had classes where all we did was listen to different music, analyzed it. We had tests on what kind of instruments did we hear, who was the
Mm.
composer, the life of the composer. So music and
Wow.
the classical jazz and all this stuff was kind of part that our teachers try to expose us to different types of music, which I think is very enriching. And I don't know how that is relevant today now with kids. Do they get a rich musical experience growing up? That's more of a question.
Hmm.
But please continue.
Yeah. I
When
guess
did saxophone come in, or why saxophone?
Uh, because jazz band was the harder class, and I couldn't play clarinet in jazz band. So I played saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my dad saying that my uncle played the baritone, and I was like, that sounds cool. I'll do that.
Buried.
And because I
Wow.
did like low instruments. Like I went
Mm.
from clarinet to bass clarinet
Mm-hmm.
I started in 6th grade, and then yeah, 7th grade was bass clarinet, and then jazz band I like got in on tenor, but I was like, wait, can I do Barry? Because that Barry goes a half step lower than my bass clarinet, and that's cool.
I thought you played a lower note on the bass clarinet when you played on Eye Doctor, the song.
No, that might have been somebody else with a
No,
low
I
C
know you were
clarinet.
playing it. I know. I am 100% confident that you played the bass clarinet in one
I
of
did
the
at one
songs.
point. I do remember that. Yes.
Then maybe I'm wrong with the low
But
note,
I'm saying like it might be a sub, like someone that subbed in for me, because my bass clarinet doesn't go
there was
lower.
nobody else that played the bass clarinet. I only
Dang.
remember you.
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
did.
I had a
If you wrote
couple.
it, I didn't play it because it's not possible to go lower than my
Maybe
baritone.
it was a baritone, but I remember you played bass clarinet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've only had 3 baritone saxophone players. There was
Mm-hmm.
oh gosh, what's it?
Well, there's Gabe, right?
Gabe Neckrootman, yeah, but he mostly played alto.
Yeah,
Wait, I think I knew you from Gabe, didn't I?
possibly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gabe Neckrootman, shout out.
Yeah.
He was a cool cat.
Yeah, he was.
Gabe, and then who? That's a Nick.
Nick
No,
Zuchecki.
Nick Zuchecki.
Yeah.
Nick Zuchecki. I'm trying to think of the name. Oh, he's gonna hate me. I forget his name. Put the name over here in the titles. He played baritone when I had a session at the record company. It was before we knew each other. Because then he said he was gonna do something else, and then you joined in, I think, and I think I had a guy called Daniel Coe play. I think baritone for a couple of the gigs that you couldn't make.
Wait, Daniel Coe. Wait. If there's another Daniel Coe, that'd be wild. But my friend Daniel Coe lives here in Nashville, and he plays violin and piano, and he's a composer.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Did he go to Berklee?
Yeah.
I thought I knew Daniel Coe played saxophone.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
There's so many people at that school. Man,
if I'm mistaken, sorry. Don't hate me.
Yeah, when we were at that school, there was like 4,000 people.
Yeah.
But now the student body is like pushing 6.
Are you serious?
Yeah, if not more. I don't know.
Oh my god! I thought there's a New York. No, there's a Berklee, New York, and Berklee, LA. And
Yeah, I'm
Spain.
not sure how that stuff works.
Me
if that's
neither.
a school or not. But yeah, there's a lot of people, so we forget a lot of people. You
know, man,
I'm still meeting people where I was like, oh, you knew this person and that person, and now you're living here. I didn't know you, but nice to meet you. Like, yeah. Cool.
Did you like living in Boston?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
What's the no part?
The no part is the weather.
Oh,
sucked.
really?
It's cold for way too long. And like obviously it's expensive, but I don't know, like the music bubble there, it wasn't really what I wanted to be a part of. Like the people who made money with music did weddings, and I didn't like wedding music. I didn't like playing solos over pop hits. That wasn't really my thing. So and then like, you're competing against other people who are your age, and everybody's trying to play the fastest, the most shredtacular, and it didn't feel like the real world to me. I just had this like dissociation of like, yeah, no, this is not real. I need to leave this to find out what's real.
So I have a question. So before you went to Berklee, what was your idea of what a professional musician is portrayed at, and what did it become after Berklee?
Before I went to school, I thought a professional musician, I mean, I was a saxophone player, so I was like, yeah, studio musician, like, play gigs, be the best at your instrument so everybody wants to hear you and study you. That's how you'll get paid, along with just being good at playing music so you can play on sessions and stuff.
But being good doesn't necessarily mean that you're already gonna be called for everything.
Of course, but this was before I was socialized. I was just in high school, and I was going to the Monterey Jazz Festival every year. I attended like the Centrum Jazz Camp, the Jazz at Port Townsend, and I did the Stanford Jazz Workshop. So like I was exposed to a lot of people who were kids who were trying to be better than everybody else, and learning from masters. So to me, the ceiling was, like playing a gig with Joe LaBarbera and freaking John Clayton. Like, I was like, wow, they're at the top. They're making it big,
Was that the definition of success for you?
I think so. Yeah, I wanted to like be as cool as Ronnie Cuber and play baritone for everybody and everybody to love me and want to pay me money.
Mm.
I guess that's what I thought. Um, so and that was a fun little dream I had. But then after Berklee, I learned that there's a lot more, like how cool you are, how good of a hang you are.
Mm.
Um, Newsflash, there's like no studio musicians because music doesn't call for saxophone anymore. Um, and it's a much different thing. Um, to make money with music is not the same as making music for yourself that makes you happy all the time. Um,
There's the business aspect of it.
yeah.
Yeah, I went through a lot of like trial and error, you know, and one thing always came up, which is the whole business aspect, like
Hmm.
I produced a lot of songs and a lot of folks have forgotten to do like the marketing aspect of it. And just because you have a good song, it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, now that's good, it's
Hmm.
out, now it's up to the cloud to take care of it. No.
Yeah.
If one is not excited pushing it as much as they can, nobody else will, unless you pay somebody. But
Hmm.
it's hard, really hard to make just solely from being a musician.
Hmm.
Nowadays it's very difficult, and I don't know, I mean, I want to say you can't, but I don't want to be pessimistic.
Yeah.
But the reality is there are gigs that are tipping only, or they pay like $130 for like a 3-hour gig,
Hmm.
and not to mention you have to rehearse, learn the songs,
Hmm.
and then of course you have the folks who have these negative feelings and like, oh, rehearse, why should I? Which is understandable because it's not a livable wage. Once you take out taxes,
Yeah.
you take out all the stuff, it's like pennies on the dollar.
But then one of my friends in upstate New York, he just played a wedding and got paid $2,000 for one day.
Wow.
He just like drove an hour, played a gig for 3, drove home, $2,000.
Hmm.
It's not an every weekend thing, but these cats are getting paid sometimes. Like it's kind of
Now,
crazy.
but that's an interesting thing because I've shot close to, as I'm sure you know by now. If you guys know, I do video production as well. It's
Hmm.
pretty obvious. I'm shooting this. I shoot weddings. So amongst like the 50-ish weddings that I've shot, only 2 of them had a real band.
Mm.
And amongst the 2, one was phenomenal.
Mm.
Like I would be like, here's the money, take it. Like they
Yeah.
were incredibly well rehearsed, playing completely without a stop, playing to a click, backing track. They had like this glowing suit on, put on a dance show.
Whoa.
It's freaking
Yeah, I
phenomenal.
was I was visiting the Cheekwood Mansion somewhat recently, and they had a similar setup. They
Really.
were doing the sound checks and setting up the stage and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that band was tight. I was like, okay, like I was from afar, but I was very impressed.
And I'm honest with you, the value there is incredibly high.
So
Like
good.
you can once you experience that, you cannot replace that amount of entertainment.
That
Like,
amount of energy,
and an
really.
energy, yeah. Like
Yeah.
you get the energy of the people who's
Yeah.
playing and the singers. Like you really, like I, at least when I hear a good singer, I'm like, yeah, to be able to pull off a 4-hour gig and sing like that,
Hmm.
you need some good practice.
Yeah, I mean that's something I've thought about with everybody who performs on Broadway too here
Mm.
in Nashville. There's some intense what am I thinking? The endurance
Mm-hmm.
that comes from that. It's like, wow,
I
it's
think that comes more from the experience of keep doing that instead of practicing.
mm,
It's gonna sound funny, but I kind of stopped the conventional style of practicing.
mhm,
And it's more like I get more out of like creating a track and recording solos and things like over it
mhm,
than doing the good old, playing scales and stuff.
mhm,
Because there is, like, I see that there's like the physical aspect of like playing an instrument,
mhm,
like your scales and you physically know how to do it, but then there is like emotional thing. Will I be able to do this in front of 50 to 100 people? Because
Yeah.
I've had that experience where I sound so freaking good, and I'm out in front of people. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you feel like a 5-year-old that can't say a single word.
Yeah.
That's a different practice,
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know. And I remember when we had gigs, I used to show up like super early just to meet people and get my nerves in check. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
we good.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the um kind of reminds me something that of something I've been thinking about a lot with disc golf. I'm seeing a very clear reflection of how I learned music and how I'm learning disc golf, and that it's the old, it's the classic saying that the greats always said in jazz. They're like, practice your ass off, forget it all on stage.
Hmm.
You know, because if you show up on stage and you're using scales to improvise, you sound like a dork. And um how you really get to the spirit is you just let your body take you and let the spirit take you to the improvisatory state. Um, which in music is obviously getting your scales down, getting your facility down. So whatever your brain thinks, you can accomplish. And I'm experiencing that in disc golf.
Really?
Yeah, so there's
How
a
so?
lot of technique that goes into like throwing a disc, throwing it this way, throwing it this way, and especially with putting. Um, and there's, like there's your wrist motion, your finger motion, the height, the angle. And in practice, you can come up with techniques that are somewhat reliable. And whenever I take that to the course and I'm like, okay, check, 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 go, I'll make like 50% of my putts. But the way to make a putt is to think about not making the putt, but just disc basket. Disc basket, making it in. It's
Interesting.
kind of like you go to solo and you're like, all right, this is in the key of A minor. There's a turnaround that goes 4-5-1 leading into the top. And then I'm going to make sure that my solo is at its peak around the second chorus so that the band comes in. It's like, nah, dude, you
Mm.
go play. Ready,
Well, how do you
go.
get to that point or that mental state where I guess trusting the process, trusting yourself that your ears will guide you to
Yeah,
the right
it's a lot
place.
of trust. And actually, I thought today, as I was on the course earlier with a buddy, I was like, it's not about, oh man, how do I say this concisely? It's like it's not about practicing so that you'll never mess up. It's just practicing. Dang it. No, I can't say it I don't have a cohesive statement. Dang it. Where was it? I had it together like on the car ride here. Um cuz I was thinking it was like it's not like you're trying to it's not like you're trying to get rid of all mistakes when I'm playing. It's just that I'm realizing there are mistakes, but then there's plenty of time where there's no mistakes.
Mm.
I don't know. It's kind of like learning to let those mistakes pass.
It reminds me of what you're putting your focus on. You can
Hmm.
focus on all the good things, or you can focus on the bad things,
Yeah, it is.
or
It
the
is as simple as
recovery.
that. Yeah, yeah. Because also, I mean, that's sort of related to what we were talking about with practicing. Because if you practice more, then there'll be more really good stuff. There will still be mistakes, but the good stuff's gonna be really good. Like your good licks that you end up piecing together on the spot, like, in disc golf, your great drives, but there's always going to be a slip out of the hand. There's always going to be oh, I forgot the bridge was here. But, yeah, it's just acknowledging that there will always be mistakes and that's just life.
Mm.
That's just a
That's well
fact.
said.
Because I've been doing this thing recently to help me mentally and help me grow where I have on my cabinet one sticky note that says 30 days of posting every day, and then another sticky note that says 90 days meditate every day.
Mm.
And the first day I forgot to meditate,
Mm.
it was like the seventh day. And I was just like, what do I do? I got to start over. I got to have a perfect record.
Mm.
And immediately when I said that, I felt something that's in me that said, but that's not life though. I was like, you know what? For discipline, I'm going to sit with that. Move on to the next day. I'm going to put an O instead of a check. And as I progressed with more check marks, with more days, I look back at the O and I'm just like, yeah, of course. Of course I'm going to miss a day. But my point is to get 90 days of trying to meditate every single day. And now I'm totally cool with like, I'm not trying to miss a day. But sometimes I ended up at the end of the day and I'm like tired and I'm like, dude, I didn't do it. It's just an O. I'm just going to live with that mistake.
What does the O stand for?
0. It's
okay.
It's a 0. It's not like
it.
It's just like it's damn, I forgot.
Damn, I forgot.
Exactly.
I thought we were gonna do a minor third. Damn, I forgot.
Nice.
That was funny. So what do you do to yourself? What is a good day for you? What are your habits that makes a good Joel good Joel?
I've been waiting all year for this.
For the question or the answer?
Because now I'm on a podcast. And now I can say I wake up every morning, I splash cold water in my face, and then it was 4:25 in the morning. And then no, but for real though, routine is extremely beneficial. I'm blessed to not have a normal job, so I can wake up and spend 2 hours doing my thing. So I usually wake up and get my yoga mat out and do, I don't know, it's probably like 20 minutes, 25 minutes of yoga. I have this series of poses that I really like to do. And if I sit down after that, I can feel my body buzzing. It's like my joints feel good. I'm recruiting those nutrients to those joints to keep them growing and strong. I'm stretching all of my muscles, my body just feels like it is capable. And then after that, I sit down and I do Wim Hof breathing.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you've heard of that.
I've heard of Wim Hof.
Yeah, I do the one where you breathe in, breathe out.
You do
40
breath
times.
of fire too.
No, I don't. I need to get into more of that Kundalini type stuff. Is that what it's called?
Do you have a short breathing?
No, the Wim. I just do Wim Hof. It's just like you go 40 times, and on the 40th breath, you sit with the breath out, eyes closed, meditation position, until.
You want to guide me through one?
I think it's too intense for a podcast.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
y'all could follow us maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, episode 2.
We'll consider it. For now, I'll describe it. So it's, 40th breath, you hold it out and calm your body for as long as you can. Then you'll start to feel adrenaline because your body's like, you're not breathing. You need to breathe. But your brain, you can tell yourself, well, I am hyperoxygenated right now. I'm not going to die. So when I usually feel the adrenaline coming, I count to 10. I'm like, I will not die if I make it through 10 more seconds. And so I count to 10, and then I have the option to breathe. Usually I tell myself after the 10 seconds to calm down. And once I'm calm, I can act. So then I breathe in, hold it for 10 seconds, breathe out. And that breath out is breath out 1 of 40 for the next round of 40 breaths.
What?
And then same thing. 40th breath out. Hold it for as long as you can.
What is one breath? That's 1.
2, 3, 4.
Wow.
And
interesting.
So it resets your stress response. And if you do it every morning, it improves your circadian rhythm. So I have a crazy good circadian rhythm. It just knows when I wake up. And that has been awesome. I love that.
I'm gonna have to try that.
If you do it outside, if you do yoga and Wim Hof outside every morning, you will never be sad about a season.
Really?
In the heat of summer, I'll do that on the porch. Well, in my old house, I had a great porch for this. And It's still hot outside, but like I could go do physical activities outside and I'd be fine. Or like in the winter, my cutoff is 27 degrees. If it's lower than 27 degrees, that sucks. It hurts. But it conditions my throat so that I could run in weather that's around
Hmm.
freezing.
27 degrees? It's not that cold.
Yeah.
Wait, not
Oh, it's
Celsius.
not that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Fahrenheit, 27
I
degrees.
was thinking Celsius.
Well,
My
like
friend was like
-4,
27.
negative something
Oh yeah,
Celsius.
that is cold, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Woo!
But, if you stretch in that weather, if you breathe in that weather, you go outside after that anytime and it doesn't feel like outside is gonna it hates you. It's fun. It's nice.
Wow, interesting. Do
Yeah.
you have a challenge to the listeners that you think would make a big impact on their day to day?
Learn 2 yoga poses and do them every single morning.
Do you have a specific yoga pose?
Um, Look up the Warrior series,
Okay.
and Sun Salutations.
Sun
Those
salutation.
2 will take you through almost all of the range of motion for all your limbs, and you
Hmm.
need to do that.
What about breathing?
Check out Wim Hof. He's got an app that for free will lead you through that basic Wim Hof breathing
Really?
exercise. And I've been doing this stuff every single day well, with some O's. There's some zeros in there for sometimes days at a time,
Wow.
but I've been doing it for like 3 years, 3.5
Wow.
years.
And you saw a substantial difference in your psyche?
Yes. I've
Wow.
tested it too. I've gone 2 weeks with no Wim Hof and yes yoga. I've gone a couple weeks with yes Wim Hof no yoga, and they both have different effects on me.
Wow.
And so
Interesting.
I'm like, yeah, do it every day, and I will have a really good feeling baseline,
Mm-hmm.
so that from there in my morning, I make my oats with a ton of stuff in it that are full of nutrients,
Mm.
and make my coffee, and then I sit down and I consume information.
What sort of information do you consume?
In
That's
the
a very
beginning,
funny way of saying
I
consume
just love
information.
consuming information. Um,
I just imagine you like,
That's what it feels like, man. For a couple years, it was exclusively podcasts. I
really?
really liked The Knowledge Project
Oh,
and The Tim Ferriss Show.
I liked him, Ferris. He's
They're
cool.
both really cool. They have amazing guests. You
Mm.
can learn so much from them.
You know the Huberman Labs, Andrew Huberman?
Yeah, I was on to him, but until I learned what kind of a person he is.
Okay.
And when I started hearing him double back on things that he preached, like he has episodes about how dumb and pseudoscientific blue lens glasses are. And then if you look at any of his recent videos, he's like, I endorse blue lens glasses, blah, 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 blah. And like between that and him being like really bad with women, I'm like,
Oh, I
okay.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and he doesn't actually have a lab at Stanford either.
Oh, he doesn't. I thought he had the Stanford Labs. Oh, okay. I had no idea
so
about that.
so I kind of wrote him off. Knowledge
Mm.
Project, amazing. Tim Ferriss Show, amazing. Highly recommend. And then for 2 years, I was super into learning ancient astrology.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. What got you
Yeah.
into astrology?
My friend Peyton Pleninger, he's in New York. He has in Stone Ridge, New York, he has the Stone Ridge Tavern. It's a great project. Look him up. The Tavern Stone Ridge on Instagram. Um, he got into it because one of his teachers from Philly was into it, and so was John Coltrane. That's part of where the Coltrane Matrix comes from.
Hmm.
The like his star he makes with the circle of fifths, and
I had no idea about that.
yeah, they're all and like Coltrane changes, they're trines. They're in the thirds of the
Oh,
circle. Because
yeah.
we in astrology we have different shapes. We have the trine, which is a triangle, and then we have the square, obviously, and then the
Mm.
sextile, which is half of a trine.
Hmm.
And if you look at the circle of fifths, the 12 notes, the 12 signs, you can
Hmm.
start to make relationships between that. So
Whoa.
yeah, and like I think what is it Horace Silver that has the song Virgo?
That
Um
sounds familiar.
Somebody has a song called Virgo, but there's a lot of droplets of astrology and jazz. Um and for me, it helped map out my own emotional issues. I was going through a huge breakup,
Hmm.
and right at a time where it was the very beginning of my Saturn return, which is a time of great change, and that lasts from like possibly like when you're even 27 to 31, like 28 to 32, 31.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, okay, this might be real. It was also under the conditions that Peyton foresaw when I first started dating this girl.
Hmm.
Just the way he described her internal issues, having never met her, those issues ended up being the stuff that some of the stuff, obviously it wasn't just her, it wasn't just me, but those were the conditions in which things went awry.
Hmm.
And I was like, whoa, okay, there's something to this shit. Like,
Hmm.
let me get into it. So I started learning from the greats. And like, there's this guy who has books. I mean, there's so many names. But anyway, so I just like learned that for 2 years and woke up every morning, was listening to, it's literally called the Astrology Podcast. It's
Hmm.
actually really good.
Hmm.
Um they get a lot of information from Project Hindsight, which is two guys, the two Robs, Robert Hand and Robert, I can't remember who else, what his last name is, but they found ancient astrological texts and translated them from their original languages and employed them in the modern times. And
Interesting.
because this stuff's been going on since Mesopotamia.
Astrology.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah,
What
and
is the purpose of astrology?
there's a few purposes. Back in the day, it used to be to see if your pregnant wife was going to be able to have her child, or if she was going to die, or if the child was going to die. Whether your cows would make it through the rains. You know, who should be paired with who. There's an ancient Chinese astrology called Nine Star Key that was made around the same time as the I Ching that is literally for pairing people together. And they are extremely effective at making happy marriages. So
Really?
there's that. In the modern times, around the birth of therapy and psychology, thanks to Carl Jung, a contemporary of Freud, they were alive at the same time, best friends. Best friends. They were
Were they rivals?
they were rivals at times, but they were, what is it? Steel sharpened steel.
Oh,
Jung was an astrologer. He drew up a chart for every single one of his clients.
really?
And he described it as like it's a window into someone's psyche and it's a map to see where things are connected. And for me,
Wow.
that's where it became the most useful because I would have some anxiety about something that won't go away in my life. And I would look, for example, I have Venus in Taurus, square my moon. And so there's some tension between Venus and moon. And I was like, well, I'm not going to use that one as an example. Let's just be simpler. Say I'm like frustrated about my tendency to always want things in order. And I look and see, oh, that's a trait of Virgo. And I'm mad at it. But then I go learn about Virgo. Virgo is extremely good at keeping things organized and being sensitive to input and what needs to be together before it's released into the world.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, astrology has a really good way of taking things you think are bad and showing you what its function actually is.
Hmm.
Like, you're not controlling, you have the potential to have father energy and lift those who are around you, type thing. That's a Leo trait.
What
Um,
is your sign?
my sun is in
Or your
Pisces and
sun?
my moon is in Aquarius and
Oh,
my
interesting.
rising is Leo.
Oh, wow.
Um, those are the big three, but there are 12 planets. There are about 15 different points in the chart that are of interest, and everybody has a sign for each of their houses, which
Whoa.
houses deal with different areas of life. So, like, first house is the body and how you present. 4th house is your home, where you live, who lives with you. Also, your, well, mother or father. It's kind of debated. 7th house, close relationships, one-on-ones, significant others, best friends. 10th house, ooh, crackles. That one was.
Oh yeah, that was the KRK.
Yeah.
Sometimes it crackles. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Electricity, maybe.
Electricity. You know, so whatever. There's all these houses that mean different things for different people. I love how it deals. Astrology is a map of emotions and a map of the human psyche that we can explore. And it's linked. It's been, you know, thousands of years of studying people and their entire lives. It's like the longest going tradition of gathering empirical data to describe all of life. It's insane.
I'm a Capricorn. What could you tell about that?
Yeah, I mean, your organization, like I was talking about earlier, that is an incredibly prominent Capricorn quality.
Oh, but I'm a disorganized organized. There are certain things I'm not that organized, but certain things I'm very organized.
Of course. Well, so think about it this way. Capricorn happens in the wintertime.
Yep.
What season is happening during wintertime? Like,
Well,
what
it's a
is going
cold
on with the
season.
plants?
Oh,
You're a
they're
farmer. What are
dying?
you doing? No, they're dead.
Oh. Well,
What are
they're
you
dead.
doing as a farmer in the wintertime?
I don't know. What am I doing as a farmer?
You're planning the infrastructure for the
Okay.
planting season,
Okay.
right? You have to know the needs of all of your plants. You need to be sensitive about where things can grow. And you have to have the ability to put stuff together in order to, like, put your plans together in order to employ it. You know, I mean, you're surrounded by things that you build with. You know, that's your Capricorn domain.
Are Capricorns always like that, no matter where you are?
No.
What if you're at a place that is always hot?
Well, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. This is just like the archetype that's around.
Archetype. Got it.
It's just the archetype that's around Capricorn, you know, and your sun is there, which means your chart generally has that sort of quality to it. And there are other aspects of Capricorn where your life might move in that such a way. I don't know. There's the context is needed for with the rest of your chart.
What sort of context do you need?
What relationship the other planets have to your sun. So say your moon is on the exact opposite side of the chart.
How do I know what my moon is?
Well, you can calculate it on an app. Enter your birthday, birth time. You'll see where all the planets were.
Oh, and that exact day when I was born? 1992, December 27. Interesting.
Yeah, so 1990s, the early 90s, your Saturn was probably still in Aquarius. So, Aquarius, Capricorn, I don't know. I can't really make a judgment there, but just your relationship to how you're going to operate in society is, which is a Saturnian thing, is different than mine, which is in Pisces. You know, you might move in ways that...
Pisces is the fish?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're a March guy?
Yeah, I'm March.
My dad and my mom are both Pisces then.
Oh, cool.
And March 1 and March something later.
Yeah, if they're early March, then yeah, totally.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, but you know, you might move through life in a way that requires it's stupid I'm saying this, is extra tools. Aquarians love tools. And also isolation and figuring out your individuality through your opposition to the world around you. There's this sort of like isolation quality that Aquarius craves. There's also a transmuting quality that Aquarius is. It's pouring water through air. So there's this diffusion of whatever you're working with that Aquarians are trying to figure out. And Saturn is just Aquarius. Saturn being in Aquarius deals with... That's a weird one. It's like you're trying to catch things. I don't know.
Are you describing your science or my
I'm
science?
describing your
Oh,
Saturn.
okay.
It's
Okay.
this is a very disembodied way to talk about this
Wow.
stuff because we haven't started. It's every astrology session is like a therapy session. It's
Really?
really intense. Yeah.
Who coined all these stuff originally? When did astrology begin?
Astrology began when in ancient Mesopotamia they noticed a correlation between eclipses and kings dying.
Kings dying?
Yes.
What?
They were like, there's an eclipse happening. Something really bad is going to happen soon.
How were they dying?
I don't know.
Like just-
Different ways. We're working off of ancient tabloids and stuff, but there's so many depictions of a clear drawing of an eclipse and somebody dying, somebody in power dying. So that's where it all started. And as we got into astronomy and observing how things move, it progressed.
Whoa, golly, that is something.
Yeah, and all it's trying to prove is there is a correlation between the movements of the planets and events on Earth. It's not that energy is coming from Mercury messing up your week. It's not that like Saturn's gonna come mess you up. It's like usually in the pattern of human development, when your Saturn is at its same point, made a complete orbit in your life. Sorry, made a complete orbit around the solar system.
Oh, no.
When it lands back to the spot it was when you're born, there's going to be some large changes that's going to happen,
Whoa.
from the period that you're 27 to 31 or so. And usually people move, relationships end, relationships begin, a change of work happens, blah, blah, blah. Or like during your, what is it? Your Uranus opposition and the square with Pluto when you're 37 to 41, 38. Sorry, around like when you're 38, that's like the second oh man in life.
Your second oh man.
They're like, oh geez, dude, what are we doing here?
Oh,
are we gonna need to
interesting.
change everything? Are we gonna need to? Is change happening to me? Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's like a midlife crisis.
Yeah, I'm like a magician sometimes. Like I'm
You're
like,
a magician?
I like talk to people, and during sessions, and I'm like, so like, what happened last year? There's something that big that happened last year. You're 30 years old, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I left my spouse of 6 years or some crazy thing like that. It's like always, or like I was talking to somebody and they were having a transit of Mars, which is very war. Mars is war. Mars is intention. Mars is desire. And they had a Mars square. And I was like 3 weeks ago, I was like, you feeling good? Like 3 weeks ago, what happened? They were like, oh yeah, that's when I started to break up with my significant other. I was like, oh, so let's talk about that. I can't do astrology in casual situations because that stuff always comes up. It's really funny.
Mixing and astrology, mastering right after that.
Yeah.
In between a session.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Do you believe that there are human-like creatures in the universe outside of us?
Yeah, I think there's bound to be. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a ginormous universe.
Yeah, I
if
think
we are only ones, I don't know.
Does that mean something?
I have no idea. I haven't really marinated on it, but like some people think that there are aliens amongst us or whatever.
Yeah, true. Well, it's funny you say that because I just read this, the first 2 books in a trilogy called, it's the 3 Body Problem series.
I love that show.
See, I read the books.
How you didn't see the show?
I watched the first episode of the show and it was nothing like the books.
Really?
It's actually says it's based on the books.
Oh,
it's
what?
It's not the books.
I hate
There's
when they do
still the
that.
basic premise is similar, but all the characters are different. And well, I don't know. I watched an episode and a half and I felt spoilers at the time. And my friend looked it up and she was like, oh yeah, it says there's spoilers for all 3 books in the first couple episodes. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop right now because it's all mixed up. The plot doesn't.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I guess Qing Liu
So-
was down for the publicity.
So in the book, did you read all the 3 books?
No, I stopped at the third one.
Third
The third
one,
one's
beginning
like
of
this
oh my
big, dude.
gosh. What is it about overall? For those who are reading, stop the recording. Come back in a couple
No,
minutes.
it's fine.
Oh, okay,
Well, like
spoiler
Spoiler
alert.
alert. Could be spoilers.
Spoiler! It's all your fault if you keep watching.
It's how do we as humans work together to confront another powerful force? How it's a lot of it's a lot about the role of science in the progression of humanity. It's a lot about how we as humans act when we are threatened. And schools of thought around threats, I guess, of how to deal with threats. Befriend the threat,
or kill them.
Exterminate the threat.
Exterminate.
Just very fundamental questions.
Yeah. What would we do?
It's coming from a writer who grew up in a very like village type, like not super civilized area.
Interesting.
Who experienced a lot of his village was ravaged by natural disaster.
Oof.
So at a very young age, he experienced crisis. And he said he also had the ability to comprehend scale, like what a light year really felt like. He's really good at explaining things, like making you feel what it's like to look at 4 million of something. You know, I'm reading about this like computer that was made by 3 million soldiers throwing up flags for yes, no, like, 1, 0.
Oh, wow.
And how they were able to compute using a large body of basically slaves. But the way he describes it, I'm feeling like I'm comprehending what 3 million is. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy, man. But he's just a fascinating author. Just the way he is able, just his perspective of things is like very poetic, really practical, and very massive. It's cool. I love it.
I like these concepts that you brought because music also is shaped a lot by technological advancements and how us creators, musicians, and how people consume music also experience music. And recently I started thinking a lot about like the evolution of music, both from like the making of it, the learning of it, and the preservation of it. So like back in the day, we had to go to a studio, and there was like one chance, and there's no redo on a 2-track, right? I'm sure you know more about that than I do. And then there was like the 4-track, and then you can do cuts, and you can do redo, right? And then later on the DAWs came out, so you can do more and more. So as technology advanced, the more perfection, whatever people perceive to be perfection, can be established, or the imperfections can be erased, and you can basically have a track without mess ups. And then the tuners like Melodyne. First it was
all of that stuff I think is a reflection of what we're trying to do as humans. We're scared of our imperfections. So we invent all of our technology to deal with these imperfections. So then we're sitting there picking ourselves apart, trying to form a new ideal version of ourselves. And that's very attractive. And I think that music as a process has been with technology because has followed technology really well because of that. Like music is an expression of our insides. We don't like our insides looking ugly. We want them to look pretty. And technology is built to help us be more put together, have more ability. And so it's kind of followed.
Let me interject, but art isn't supposed to be pretty.
It's not supposed to.
It's like, look at visual art. Like, look at that art. That's my mom's art. That's I think
that's your mom's art.
Yeah, that's my mom. I have to show you my mom's art.
Cool.
She does very interesting art. I'd be very interested if I put art in front of you. What's her notes you would be playing and stuff like that. That'd be very interesting. But so like you go back to these artists like Leonardo da Vinci, not Leonardo DiCaprio, Leonardo da Vinci,
Yeah.
or the guy who cut his ear off. What's his name?
Oh, freaking Starry Night, Van
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 Gogh.
Gogh.
Ah, yeah,
Thanks. Yeah.
Van Gogh,
Yeah.
or
Picasso. Like,
Picasso,
I mean, literally
or
point at a.
Dali, Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to invoke a type of feeling in
Mhm.
its, and it's like life. Life isn't always about the beauty.
Yeah,
It's
and
like yin and yang. You can, if
Mhm.
you're always happy, are you really?
Mm.
If you're not experiencing unhappiness, do you appreciate the happiness? Or if you experience unhappiness, do you appreciate happiness more?
Yeah.
It's like if I say, hey, here's $1,000,000, or here's a way that you can make $1,000,000.
Mhm.
You think you'll appreciate that $1,000,000 more because you work for it, or would you
Mhm.
appreciate the same way
Well, yeah,
if you don't?
those who practice the yin and yang aesthetics know that when you are happy, and you
Mm,
remember the times when you weren't happy. And so when you're not happy, you know that you're not happy, and you
mm,
can remember the times where you were happy. And what a lot of people don't know about the yin and yang, which everybody who watched Avatar: The Last Airbender knows, if you remember the fish at the center of the um the water place, the fish are spinning,
mm,
and that's what the yin yang does. It's a cycle. It's a
mm,
sine wave, actually.
mm.
And that's how you draw a
Yep,
yin
yep,
yang.
yep,
You make a
yep.
sine wave and a circle. You're like, hey, sine wave, that's how life works. It turns and is constantly moving.
Mm.
Um, love that. But back to imperfections in things. You're right. It's
Interesting.
the goal is not to be perfect. And that is the paradoxical situation we're in. We're trying to perfect everything when what we crave is actually seeing imperfections so we feel okay about our own.
I think we also
And
seek for acceptance, but when we feel like we
which
can't
is
be accepted,
acceptance. Hmm.
we go back into like that other idea of, oh, I guess it's got to be in this way
Hmm.
because this is how people want it. I mean,
Right.
look at like popular music and things like that, or I had a teacher who told me you write music for art's sake or you write music for like the sake of art. They're not too different. They're too different. Like when we talked about like it's difficult to make a make living as an artist. So like if I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm gonna make a song and it's gonna be a wacky time signature song, I love it, woo woo woo.
Yeah.
But not other people might not listen to it.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, I've had a person who said if you truly passionate about something you love, you gotta do it, and you'll find people who love it, and you'll find people who will hate it.
Yeah. I think that's always true. But that's a different question than can you make a living from it?
That isn't exactly
You know,
right. And
it's different. It's two different things. I think the notion that you can make a living off of music and is too, it's taken over. The American dream, where you can pick something that you love and make it your life and let it sustain you, is very intense and very overpromised, I think. It intoxicates people.
what do you
And
think is I don't want to say the word issue. Let me bring in something. I was talking to a friend of mine who's not our age. He's I think 10 years older
mm,
than us, but he has experienced that. Yeah, I can make living,
mm,
and he moved to um, Canada, and he said he was making about just a little bit more than in Hungary, but there was a lot more all of a sudden that he had to do.
mm,
And he said that one of the things he thinks that caused an issue for musicians was streaming platforms,
mm.
um, turning the value of music, lowering the value of music. You are not going to record stores, you're not buying records. He told me he was saving up money to go to buy a certain record. And he said, I would spend a week listening to that record
Hmm.
until it went into my memory and I can hum the whole record.
Yeah, I mean it's our relationship to music has changed. It's also changed in a way that more people listen to music than at any other point in history.
Which is also a good
There
thing.
are so many people who are into music who wouldn't be into music otherwise.
Interesting.
You know, the old coverage argument, the old exposure argument. But I think it has a meaningful impact on who we are as humans. And we were headed that way, whether we liked it or not. You know, those of us who were really into pirating, we were getting discographies for free regardless.
See, I remember when I was 14, there was LimeWire.
Yeah, LimeWire.
You remember
Pirate
that?
Bay? Yeah.
There was and then Demonoid. You can torrent shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember buying records, but I remember friends giving me, here's a pen drive, here's a bunch of songs in it. So, in one way or another, something that will make something more convenient, it will hinder something else. But that's what technology is. There are multiple sides of it.
Well, and see, I think there's another underlying meaning that making money off of music is different than music itself. We need music. Everybody's consensus, we need to have music all the time. That's why we have streaming so available, so cheap. It's why we were stealing it on the internet. But making money off of it is like, it's different, you know? Our economic system is not art as we know art. It's a different discipline. It's like we are choosing art as a product to sell because all we want to do is make art. Because, I mean, that sounds selfish, but the non-selfish part is that for us to make great art, we need people who are disciplining themselves in the arts every single day, all day. You know, back in the day of tabla, there was a tabla master in the village, in the city. And he was a spiritual facilitator. He was like their religious anchor in a lot of ways. It's music, you know? And he would have apprentices who were lucky enough to study with him and also be supported by the village. He was getting food. He was getting everything he needs, house. Because all the time, every day, every waking moment, he was studying and working on his stuff. And I think that's the best version of music as a living. Otherwise, it becomes a weird perversion of the self where everybody's trying to feel what's just like them. And whatever is just me, the purest me, everybody's going to love. And I'm not going to know that I wrote a song that's pure until everybody loves it. Until I upload the song and it's popular. And I don't think that's really how it works. Like you can get to something within yourself that's fundamentally human, and then everybody else will connect with it on a fundamentally human level. Totally. But like there's this distorted view of making a living off music that causes people to be different versions of themselves, and that makes me uncomfortable.
That gives me a lot of interesting thoughts. Like what will make something good? Is it good because other people like it? Music is like this unexistent thing. It has to come through us. Like you have your experiences, you have the tools to get it out of you. It's almost like your brain is somewhat an instrument that it interprets the creative thoughts that you have. And then without you, there isn't music. I mean, unless we're like, oh, the rain or the sound of the horses trumping, the rhythms.
Yeah. So it's hard to put all of music in a box and say this is good and this is bad. But to me, there's two sides of it. There's the creation of the music and the reception of the music. All of art too.
Reception, like how it's received.
So what is the creator getting out of the experience of making the art? What is the viewer or experiencer getting out of the experience of the art? You know, and I think that's it. As creators, it's about the experience. That's the unique part that AI will never be able to take solely for itself, is our experience as humans making art. I think it's the most important part. You know, like you can take John Cage, for example. He's just like, hey, it's all about the rain and the horses, you know? And for him to come upon that is incredibly meditative, and he's probably having a huge experience discovering that. And it was the perfect thing for us to be invited to that same experience. We're told that silence is music, and so we're sitting there for 4 minutes and 33 seconds listening to the walls. It's an incredible human experience, you know?
It's almost like it's teaching us awareness of other than ourselves, or listening to the art that the world outside of us creates.
Yeah.
I know it's a very metaphysical way of thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what his music accomplishes.
Which is interesting. I like those artists that created something, or like allegorical music or serialism, where people had like a mathematical idea of, okay, let's have this scale and let's give a number, and then let's write a name down, and then let's assign a number to each like alphabet, and then we assign notes based, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that person...
What's that called? That's not serialism, no?
I don't know what the name of it is.
But you heard of it, no?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's how a lot of my, peers were trying to make music, which is just a very fun method of making music. And I think it's incredibly valuable for their own stimulation, for their own purpose in life. But to expect a listener to engage with it in that way is going to make you unhappy, because it's like probably like 1 in 90 chance.
I mean, not everybody listens. It's like, aleatorical music. Have you heard of aleatoric?
Yeah, like the aleatoric techniques.
There's a guy who like assign a note to each color of a car, and then would sit in front in the outside, and okay, yellow car, F sharp.
Yeah.
And then we'll write a song based on the notes. I think that's fascinating. It's interesting.
It's really, because we're creators.
Yeah.
We see that method, and we start looking at our surroundings different and be like,
whoa,
anything could be music. And I think that's really valuable. And talking about technology, talking about accessibility of music and art, I think someone like that inspires somebody who's starting to create and being like, wait, I could create that way? I could create music out of anything?
You said something about the accessibility, because with the whole AI thing that started years ago, and exponentially now the technology...
Which part? Generation or...
all of
what
it.
AI
like
thing?
How it's becoming part of an everyday life. Like everybody has ChatGPT. Actually, what I read is now 1/10 of the population of the Earth has a subscription to ChatGPT, which is a lot of people.
1/10?
1/10. That's what I read.
So what is that like? I don't like doing
Y'all
math
do
like
the
that.
math.
It's crazy.
It's a lot of numbers.
Some million fucking
It's
huge.
a lot. So
okay. So what does that mean?
Oh, well, there's... And years ago, the whole, what is it called? Cryptocurrency also became a thing, and all of these have like an environment impact aspect to it. So like, how much energy does it use? How is that impacting our environment? How is that impacting our Earth? All of these has these implications of both negative and potentially good, because it can enhance certain things in our life, but we cannot let it rule. We can't rely on it. But
you're saying 1/10 of the population is super into it.
Yeah, but 1/10, which means that it is really not going anywhere. In fact, it is really growing. And they're saying like it's taking over our jobs, it's doing this and that. But if you look at remember what I was saying earlier, like the technological advancement, auto-tune or Melodyne. I mean, you can literally make anybody sound in tune.
Yeah. But you were going to say something about accessibility. Is that,
oh, yes.
Is that sort of what you're saying?
The accessibility comes in with the whole, when there's a lot of people, oh, I'm not a creator, but then you have like these AI generative thing, and you're like, oh, I've got a melody, blah, 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 blah. You sing it up, you type in something, and then you utilize AI to create something. Well, then the problem or the challenge becomes, what is the training data? Because I do think it is one of the things I had in my mind when I was 17, with all the jazz knowledge and whatever in my head. Oh, I have so many ideas. It would be interesting if I can hook it up to like a computer
Of course.
and think of an
It's
idea.
everybody's dream.
Yeah, and I like when I was writing those songs for the Stank, it was an interesting writing process because I would like sit down on the piano, click on, let's record. Oh, that sounds good. Most of them I couldn't even play twice if I had to. I was glad that I had MIDI.
Yeah.
But I had concepts in my mind, like I'm gonna think of rhythms, or like sneak it in the da-da, 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 da-da. I had that continuous rhythm, that meditative thing. And I had EDM in my mind, because EDM, what brings interest is the addition of layers. So that, I don't know if you remember, like there was always some layer that came in to the song, which actually came from EDM music.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'm going with it. Oh yeah, so like I imagine, like, how cool would it be if I could like train my own model and create something with my thought.
Yeah.
But that's like Danny Nagy, and there are some things that are sounding similar to that, and I thought there is like a more like a better way of utilizing AI when the ideas that it generates comes from you and your own input instead of the prompting. Because I've tried prompting, and a lot of times you're going to get very similar results if you write in the same prompts.
Of course.
My prompts are jazz fusion. Here is the recording that I did.
Yeah.
And then it does pretty interesting stuff. Like I show it to musicians, and they're like, whoa, that's really cool.
Well, I'm a little on the outside of AI generation. I messed with it when UDO first came out, and that was really fun. As like I was writing joke songs for all my friends, like Dan doesn't have any pants, like Austin wants to make love to his computer. Like it was really fun and funny. And to me, like that experience and what I've noticed in everybody else's experience is like we essentially have this musician to play with. This AI guy, he's got crazy chops with everything. Like we can just like throw something at him and then he's just gonna do stuff. And it's like all because of our input. So it's like, it's like we're playing with this other human.
I think it is like that. And I know that the industry is very polarizing. Some says that they've been a musician for a long time, and then this is like a disgrace. And I hear the polar opposite. Like I've been in the music industry for 30 years, and I have a lot of songs, and I put it in, and I'm loving it. It helps creative blocks and things like that. So it's like if I can't sing and then I melodyne myself, is it gonna make the art anything less?
I don't think it makes the art any less. And the thing about most of the non-acceptance I've heard of with AI is its impact on jobs in music. And that was it, but the rest, like nobody's really arguing about it's making art that is harmful for art. I don't hear that argument at all. It's only copyright. It's what are people going to pay for nowadays? What's going to be free? And it's kind of like something I've been thinking about with making money off of music. In a lot of ways, how we've been doing it holds us back from making good music. And if AI is the new technology that's going to make crazy music, we have so many complications that all have to do with making money off of music. It's really
already hard making music, making money doing music.
It is.
It's already hard.
It's kind of a bad job. As far as scaling a business, it's horrible. As far as having financial planning, it's terrible.
Hold on a second, my friend. That camera there is dying.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I gotta. Okay, we are back at it after a few moments later.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna have to put that, you know,
few
that.
moments later.
Well, let's say
Yes.
it together. A few moments later.
We are here.
I don't know why I actually imagined us doing like this weird like raga, like a
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like that.
Are you a low tone singer? What's the
Kind
lowest
of.
note can you sing?
Like this.
Like
It's
okay,
not
that's
super
about.
low. It's like I can.
My lowest is like. Okay, I thought it was an F sharp.
But then, have you tried throat singing before?
A long time ago. Can you do it? Can you add overtones?
I haven't figured that part out yet, but I'm not trying to have an aneurysm like some of the Mongolian monks do.
Ooh, I don't know, but
So it starts with a vocal fry. Like when
like
you're like talking like this, you know what I mean? Like, there's no vocalization. I hear a note you're doing with your vocal cords, and there's
no.
There's no vocals.
no note.
No.
But how do you do it? No.
Like, you know when you're like that vocal fry. So from there, you can learn how to boost that. Essentially, it's just a really juiced vocal fry. I learned it laying down on the ground.
I used to an old place that I used to live had a bathroom with red light. So I would have a bath, and I would go underneath, and I would like meditate with like low notes.
Yeah, with a drone.
Drone like low notes. And I would do that after exercising because it opens up my lungs. And then I record vocals. And I felt like that opened my chest up and things like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, that was fun.
So a few moments later.
Now we're back with these cameras, and right before the camera was gonna die, it's now fully juiced. I was ranting about how music is very frustrating when it comes to making a business. I don't know a whole lot about business, but I was kind of just voicing my frustration in that compared to every other business or living or whatever, music is one of the hardest to actually like scale, to predict income and all this stuff. And it's like you can do it, but it's kind of just a shitty job in a way. When it works, it works. You know, I know people making six figures. Literally, I factually know somebody who is making over $100,000 a year, and just doing the thing, not doing any derivative teaching or anything. He's just doing the thing. I know multiple people who do that, but it's a fringe. There's a lot of luck. There's a lot of luck in life.
Do you believe that colleges are unnecessary when somebody's trying to do business in the arts industry?
The guy I was talking about did not go to college.
Because I know both you and I did, and we talked about it.
And I'm not making $100,000.
And
I'm making a living though.
When I went to high school, it was a special high school. So we had arts, and then we had the common, classes. And it can be dancing or whatever. And I was in the jazz guitar. And what it looked like is we had 2 days out of the 5 that was dedicated for arts. 1 day, all day from 9 to 5 or 9 to 8, all theory.
Wow.
Ear training, jazz theory, everything, history, music listening. And then we had 1 day where it was piano, and everybody had to learn piano. And then we had band practice and private instruction.
Wow.
And
where was this?
In Hungary.
In Hungary.
And that was a very one of a kind school. And you gotta check out that episode with my friend Roland. He was one of the teachers there.
Yeah,
Great
I've
guy.
played his keyboards.
Shout out to Rolling Rocks. That's funny. He played in one of my songs in my second solo album. I'll have to show it to you. And actually, we do have to talk about that jam song because that's part of this podcast. If you're up for it. I always like to, with musicians, do a creative thing, but we'll talk about outside. So you guys maybe see us perform a song together. He's a killer saxophone player. Anyway, and so he was a teacher, and I forget where I was going. Oh yeah, and that school is where I got to learn about Berklee. Right in 10th grade, we were watching all this concert, Joan Scofield and all these people. I'm like, oh my, I want to go there. Because I was exposed to all the great musicianship and things like that. And also like, I wanted to learn, and it felt like it would be an honor, like a good place to go to. Like weirdly, it felt like if I go there, that would mean success one way or another. It's weird. But
they do great marketing for that school.
They did. And I loved it. I loved going there, and I thought a lot about, like, I had a good experience and I did a lot, but two questions came to my mind. Was I smart? Should I have thought about going there different, like should I have asked all the right questions from teachers? Hey, what can I do to make money out of all this knowledge that I do? But my goal was to learn as much with as many teachers as possible. And I've studied so much, and I really don't feel that the business aspect of it was that strongly there coming out, which then my second question was business, then something that you just learn outside of it. And the third question, shouldn't business be taught in a point where once you go out of school, you know how to handle your business and how to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I think that I agree. There was not a lot of effective business learning happening at school. And I think that instead of trying to curate all these business classes to business for musicians, this for musicians, economics for musicians, just learn standard business principles, learn standard economic knowledge so that you can do the processing of like, oh, hey, I've been trying to do this part of music in business. That part of economics sounds like something I can pimp out and use. I need that knowledge still. But I have a friend who's an economics major and is a successful musician, and he's a killing drummer. And I'm like, dang, I wish I just did economics. Like I didn't. It's cool.
Complementary skills. Like if you want to be a musician, find something that can complement that skill. Because I don't know how much more or better do you think as a musician you've grown exponentially more before you went to Berklee after you finished?
I barely studied music at Berklee, but I've grown a lot.
You as a musician.
As a musician.
Did you practice do you think you knew more as a musician?
Yeah. It's part of that is just because of the time that passed. Another part is like, yes, I did learn some things from class. I learned so much from playing with other people. I might have just got like a contact high of a music degree from being around all these amazing people, learning from the teachers there.
I think exposed to the peers was very important.
That was the biggest part for me. And like, yeah, I totally developed. But also I had learned so many like lifelong practicing techniques from the musicians in Portland, Oregon that I grew up practicing with, learning from, that it's just a matter of having the time to employ those techniques. And so like I got out of lessons at Berklee as fast as I could because I was like, dude, I just have so much stuff I need to work on. And like, this is busy work. Like I don't care about playing your big band arrangements. That's not going to make me
Well,
better.
cared about
Because
my big band arrangements.
yeah, yours were fun, man. They were stimulating for me. But like, I played freaking Thad Jones, Mel Lewis band stuff, and Duke Ellington, and like some of the greatest writers of all time. I played their music in high school. That was the hardest music that I've ever played. And nothing has been harder since. Period. I've never played something harder. And when I got to Berklee, I was expecting harder music, deeper philosophy. I got none of that. And I was quickly like, okay, this audio desire, like this desire to learn audio and this passion that's bubbling up in me, I'm going to do that here because they have a lot of facilities for that. And I'm done with the music part for now. So that music just became a personal thing for me.
And then you shifted to mixing and mastering.
They're parallel passions. Yeah.
Do you track?
No.
So it's...
I just mix
You
and
really
master.
specialized in those two skill sets.
Because for me, when I would record, I never had time to dig into the sound. You know, for me, I wanted to refine the sound. I wanted to really hear what the microphone was doing, really hear how mixes worked. And being a recording engineer, I didn't feel like I had the time or the opportunity. Even from the simple point of I'm in a new room every time. How am I supposed to know the room sound, the speakers? Everything's different. But if I'm in my room mixing, I can hear and study deeper. So that's why I chose mixing and mastering, because I was really just wanting to stop and learn how to make these sounds sound the best. Because people are like, you can make anything sound good. You just got to make it feel right. I'm like, okay.
What does feel right?
Let's get to that, man. Okay, all the rooms make everything sound different. Let me just be in one room. All the speakers sound different. Let me just get my speakers and let the engineers do some work.
What's the name of your company?
JG Audio.
JG Audio.
Yeah, that's
JG Audio.
Yeah, Joel Gardella is my name, and it's not an official company, but it's what is on all my invoices.
Where can people find you? Do you have a website?
My Instagram is my website.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's at JG Chillin with an EN on the end.
Where can people hire you to mix?
DM me.
DM?
Yeah.
DM on Instagram?
Yeah, DM me on Instagram.
Any email address?
Gardella.joel@gmail.com. That's what I'll give you if you DM me on Instagram. And yeah, I get a lot of mastering clients through Instagram. And it's interesting that I don't get a lot of mixing clients from Instagram, mostly in person, because mixing is a much more personal thing. That's mostly from friends. People, if you're going to get your hands and fingers into somebody's music, into every single track, and if you're responsible for making it sound like a radio hit, you have to have trust with the person.
Interesting.
My friends hit me up for mixing. People are more willing to trust a stranger for mastering because it's just the final polish. It's the frame you put the picture in, and they're already feeling good about the picture. So it's just easier to be like, hey, like what context does this picture fit in? And I don't know, somehow that's less personal, and I get a ton of clients off Instagram for mastering because of that. I don't know. That's just my theory. Yeah.
A couple of quick questions. In one word, what does creativity mean to you?
Human.
Human. What's your creative process?
I don't have one. It's exist.
It exists.
I think
I like that.
art is a byproduct of human existence.
Hmm.
That is my definition. Therefore, exist and sit somewhere, then art will happen. I don't know. I don't create things a lot. I just have experiences with the saxophone and with the piano, and I let them fly away.
What does motivation mean to you?
What does motivation mean to me?
Or how?
Something that I know is really valuable and I'm constantly worrying that I don't have.
Where do you think you get your motivation from to create?
The external pressures.
External pressures?
Yeah. honestly.
Hey, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Which is caused by what the outside world puts on us. It's like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta be this, you gotta be
Yeah,
this.
I'm
Then you
like,
have these pressures of
okay, I'll
of
do that. And then people tell me I'm good at that. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it again. I like doing a lot of things.
I like doing a
So
lot of things. Yeah.
it's just a matter of somebody being like, hey, you should do that thing. And then I'll go do it.
Oh, interesting. Let's see. What would your message be to musicians who are just going out of college or who are thinking about going to college for music?
Which one? Those are very different sides.
Any.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be one or another establishment.
Let's see.
What is it that you would tell yourself before? What would your message be? Or an advice? What would an advice be for your younger self?
It's tough, man.
It is a hard
because there's a
question.
lot of things I regret and a lot of things, but overall I don't regret anything. So
Do you regret the things because you regret not doing them, or you regret that you've done them? But what about the insight that you gained by doing it? Or the learning? Oh, I learned a lot not to do because I've done that. So you would take away that learning experience if you take away that decision that you think you shouldn't have done.
So from the philosophical standpoint, if you're going to college for music right now, fresh out of high school, make sure you're open to seeing all aspects of all music and the whole world around music. And for somebody leaving the college experience, don't be afraid to get a job. Don't be afraid to not do music right out of the gate. I have suffered so much because I have avoided getting a job where all the greats, most of the greats, had a day job created on the side because it's their safe space of creating. Good stuff comes out of there. Not a lot can incubate in a space where you're trying to pimp it out and make the money.
That is a good message. The thing is, back in the day, I had this twisted thought that if I'm not doing music alone, then I'm not a musician. If I'm not making, it's like the identity of, am I that if the sole income source isn't solely coming from music? Or the fact that I'm doing video, does that mean that I'm less of a musician?
Right.
Maybe not.
Well, the idea of being a professional has really impacted us because professional means make money off of. And we want to be a pro at everything. And that's just the conditions of the economic structure we live in,
That's interesting. But just because you're interesting. Let me think about that. I'm trying to think of the answer.
Yeah,
But I mean, it ties together with what I said. Because if you're not making money doing music, does that mean that you're all of a sudden not professional? Then you're not valuable?
No.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I'm sure we talked about this producer, Rick Rubin,
Of course.
The Creative Act, that book, incredible book. And
I have yet to read it.
He talks about like how he recommends nowadays every artist have a job because that will give a sense of choice in what they can do as an artist.
Yeah.
So in order to have artistic freedom and not be like, oh, I gotta take this because this is money. I gotta take this. Oh my God, I need this.
Yeah.
That will become, I don't have to take that because I have something that pays.
Yeah,
For
it
me,
keeps you more true to what you have.
Yeah.
And that points to the thing I've been talking about where the art is different from you choosing to make music or money from the art.
Summarize it again.
Making art is different than choosing to make money from art. Job, art, two separate things. If they match, that's lucky. If they don't match, It's fine.
My wife taught me this term called bridge job, which basically kind of means an end to a means to an end or something. Like, here is this bridge, here's where you are, and you want to be here. And if your goal is, I want to make 100% my income from music, but you're here,
You better be asking why that goal.
Why?
But continue.
Good question. Just a thought. So you have this job that can make you enough money to put money into marketing and all these aspects, and then once you build up enough, marketing and things like that, brings you job that you can quit that job so that now you bridged over to the job that you want to be making full time. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
But it is difficult.
Yeah, that's what we were...
One of the things that I have never been taught is how to handle certain types of clients. Like if somebody hires me and then mid-project they have buyer's remorse, or then somebody tells them that it's not good, and then, and all these like weird things that can become a problem.
What nobody teaches you at college is how to be a debt collector, how to work with a client who is scared or uncertain, and how to keep things moving when they are stagnant.
Yeah. I
was just dealing with this yesterday, in fact. I was being a debt collector and waking up a project that was kind of ghosted for a long time. It's something that there's a lot of care that needs to be had with it, because on one side, again, I need to get paid. I also want to see this dude's music come out.
Exactly.
It's like, it's so hard. I got to be like, dude, I need to get paid. And that somehow sometimes makes me seem like a dick. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, but also you're sitting on some stuff that needs to be seen, man.
Yeah. And that's what I say is perfection kills forward motion. Because like I told you earlier, when I started this podcast, I threw out the idea of perfection. Because if you want to be good at something, you have to embrace not being good at it for a bit, or having aspects that can be improved. Like my wife points out certain things that I can better. I'm like, I know, I'm 10 steps ahead. It's just me. I gotta put down all those expectations so that I am okay with making mistakes, because I know that continuity will beat all these things. Like I
think you gotta prove to yourself that you can make a mistake and beautiful things can happen after that mistake. That's part of my practice with the list of days where I meditate every day. Oops, I forgot to meditate. I'm still having great meditative experiences during and after that. It's okay to make a mistake.
I love this episode thoroughly.
If
that's
fun.
Like a sentence that makes sense.
It does.
It has a full of existential and theoretical questions around creativity and making living and all these things that I think you as an artist, I think it's beneficial to ask these questions from yourself. Why am I doing art? Am I doing this for myself, for others? Am I seeking for approval? And things like that.
This is the episode you need to find if you're depressed. It might make you more depressed, but it's gonna move you in some sort of direction.
We'll prescribe you coffee.
No, it'll offer you all these other avenues to think about.
I think what happens is if you don't have a plan and you're just wandering without a direction, no matter how good you are, you're just floating. And that's how I felt. And that's how I felt when I came out of school and the two of my friends and I started a business. We didn't have day jobs. And looking back, that was a terrible mistake. And the thing is, though, my other friends couldn't have day jobs because they needed the company to have their visas. So And then I felt like because I'm dedicated, I can't have a day job because I'm dedicated to making this. And what I've learned from that experience is first you do have to take care of yourself. If you're not in a position where you can take care of yourself and you don't have investments, you don't have money, you don't have things like that, then you're not in a position to help others.
Oh, for
Yeah.
somebody coming into college, for somebody leaving college, go to therapy.
Better help.
No.
No,
Go
better-
to therapist
Oh.
in the room. Go to real life therapist in the room. Go to therapy. It's really good. Be your own parent. I was going to say, learn to be your own parent. And I was like, you know what? Better yet, go to freaking therapy, man.
Yeah, but that's another can of worms because I think mental health is a little bit of push down territory. Not a lot of people are talking about those sort of things, or it's a little bit nagged.
There's a really good book for touring musicians that my friend has that is like this thick, and it's all about mental health issues that people face during a tour, during prolonged tours for months on
Really?
end. I can't remember what it's called, but
If you remember, text
Yeah.
it, and then we'll have it in
you could
there.
probably Google that. Mental health for touring musicians. That might even be the who
Book.
knows? Book, yeah. It's a good book, apparently.
Anyway, any last thoughts that you want the listeners, viewers to know?
If you're hearing this, you're very lucky and very, very nuanced person.
I mean, this is a long episode, so if you're hearing this, like, share, and
If
subscribe.
you're hearing this part, it's like finding a rock in the woods, and you're very special for that.
Do me a favor. Could you look at that camera and say, if you like what you're hearing and seeing, hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
If you like what you're hearing and seeing, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and give a thwack to that follow.
Comment, y'all. Comment your favorite segment and find Joel Gardella
At JG Chillin on Instagram.
at JJ Chillin.
G
JG Chillin. And check out his latest viral video. 'Cause
on
that's
how to make-
another story.
On how to make backwards reverb.
It was. I'll tell you one last remark. You did some really good video there.
Thank you. It's been fun.
I've studied, and it's some funny thing. I studied like viral video content, and that thing ticked all the boxes.
And I'm only doing it, well, because I want more work. But the thing driving it is because it's fun and I enjoy making videos. It's all about the experience. So there you have it.
Do a challenge. If you're a creator, or if you're watching this, I'm sure you're a creator. I challenge you to do something every day for 7 days. Post it, whatever.
Write
you
it on
do.
paper. Make check marks.
Yes.
Change your life.
And if you miss one or two, move
Just
on.
write an O and realize that it's okay.
All right. Thank you so much, my friend. Come here. Where is that? Let me make sure we're in it.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, cut.
Clean like jerseys, talk on the net, but they move too wordy. I just run laps when they get done dirty. I don't chase trends, I set them facts. Man talk pace, but they ain't built for the tracks. I don't need luck.